He thought she was just another black woman he could intimidate. But the moment she walked into court, she destroyed his career. The night was quiet outside Birmingham, Alabama. A few cars rolled past, headlights bouncing off wet pavement. Streetlights flickered above, casting long shadows across the nearly empty highway. It was just past 11. Most people at that hour only wanted to get home. Lieutenant Commander Renee Dawson had already been driving 2 hours. She wasn't in uniform tonight. Just a simple black sweater, jeans, and her hair pulled back. She hummed along to a faint jazz tune, her fingers drumming the steering wheel. She looked like anyone else on the road, or so she thought. Then the red and blue lights appeared in her rearview mirror. Her stomach clenched, not out of fear but out of exhaustion. She knew this drill. She signaled, eased onto the shoulder, parked, and placed her hands on the wheel. Years in the military had taught her what came next. A white patrol car pulled up behind her. The officer, Briggs, stepped out slowly. His heavy boots scuffed the asphalt. Flashlight in hand, one palm resting on his belt. He carried himself like a man used to obedience. License and registration. His voice was flat. No greeting. No explanation. Renee moved calmly, retrieving her documents. "Was I speeding, officer?" she asked. Briggs didn't answer right away. He scanned her car, then muttered, "Tail lights out." She frowned. "That can't be right. It was checked just weeks ago." His eyes narrowed. "Are you arguing with me?" The air shifted, power pressing against resistance. Renee had seen this before. In briefings, in training, overseas. She knew better than to push too far. But she also knew her rights. "If there's a problem, I'll fix it," she said, voice calm. "Step out of the car," Briggs snapped, cutting her off. "Mind telling me why?" she asked. "Because I said so." His smirk spread thin across his face. Reluctantly, Renee stepped out. The cool night air met her skin. Her posture was relaxed but firm. She wouldn't be bullied. "Turn around." Hands on the car. "For what reason?" she asked. "You resisting?" His voice hardened. When she held her ground, Briggs grabbed his radio. "We got a non-compliant driver." Her pulse ticked up, but her voice remained steady. "Officer, I know exactly what I'm allowed to do. And I know exactly what you can't." Briggs didn't like that. His jaw tightened. "You're under arrest," he snapped, yanking for her wrist. She stepped back slightly. "Under arrest? For what?" "For obstructing an officer." Her training told her she had two choices: comply now and fight later, or risk escalation. She placed her hands slowly on the roof of her car. The cuffs bit hard into her wrists. Too tight. On purpose. Briggs shoved her into the patrol car. "Lady, I know exactly what I'm doing." But he didn't. Not even close. The ride to the station was tense. "Most people keep their mouths shut," he said smugly. "And most officers don't arrest people for asking questions," Renee replied. The station was quiet when they arrived. Briggs dragged her through processing. Fingerprints. Mugshot. Indifference from the desk sergeant. Finally, a cold steel bench inside a holding cell. She sat, calm and steady. She had been through worse. Combat drills. High-stakes missions. Interrogations abroad. This was nothing. But she was angry. Briggs returned, smirk in place. "You know, if you'd just played along." She cut him off with a smile. "Oh, I'm exactly where I need to be." For the first time, his smirk faltered. Hours later, another officer approached Briggs nervously. "There's a call. From higher up. They're asking why she's here." Briggs stormed back to her cell, furious. "What the hell did you do?" "Nothing," Renee said calmly. "But people talk. And I have friends in high places." The next morning, she walked into court in a navy blazer, confident and composed. Beside her, attorney Carla Whitman flipped through papers. Across the room, Briggs entered stiff, uneasy. The judge didn't waste time. The prosecutor laid it all out: Renee's spotless military record, Briggs's history of disproportionate stops targeting black drivers, and, most damning, his body cam footage. On the screen, the courtroom watched everything. Renee calm. Briggs escalating. The cuffs tightened without reason. The room was silent when it ended. Charges dismissed, the judge declared, gavel striking. And I recommend an internal investigation into Sergeant Briggs. Briggs's face burned red. His fists clenched. He stormed out, but the walls of power were closing in. At the station, Chief Baker summoned him. "What the hell were you thinking?" the chief demanded. Briggs sputtered, "I was doing my job." "No," Baker said coldly. "You profiled, you lied, and you just dragged this department into a storm. You're suspended. Effective immediately. And if Internal Affairs finds what I think they will, your career is over." Briggs stood in stunned silence. For the first time, he wasn't untouchable. Across town, Renee sipped coffee in a quiet cafe. Her phone buzzed. Briggs suspended. May face charges. She took a slow sip. Good. Later, her captain called. "Renee, the Department of Defense has taken interest in your case. The mayor might even recognize you for professionalism." She smirked. "That's ironic." Walking out into the afternoon air, she saw a mother holding her son's hand. The boy laughed, carefree, full of life. That was why she stood her ground. Not just for herself, but for him. For the next generation. Because unchecked power is always abused. And the only way to change the system is to hold it accountable. What happened to Renee happens every day. People without rank, without lawyers, without cameras to protect them. That's why we must speak up, refuse silence, and demand change. Real change begins with real conversations. And Renee Dawson had just started one.